Mom, I think I'm depressed.
Depressed? Ou gen kote pou dormi, nou bon manje. For depressed? Ou pap chèche présence bondye?
Why must you always invalidate my feelings?
Hey Leisurebabes, happy Saturday. I hope you're doing something wonderful for yourself. Wanted to come on here and talk about this little skit that I actually did earlier. You guys seen it with Haitian parents not understanding depression. And y'all, we have to give them grace, given everything that they've gone through. Although I know it doesn't make it an excuse, but think about it. As immigrants, they had to go through so much. We have our Haitian parents, aunts, uncles, brothers, cousins from all over coming, migrating to different countries, different islands such as the United States itself, and islands such as the Bahamas, Dominican Republic, and even Europe. Many of them have fled, of course, Haiti for a better life. And going to these different islands and countries, they're still being treated like shit. Excuse my language. Why? Because we as a nation decided to revolt back in the 18th century to say no more of the nonsense, the BS, the slavery, the mistreatment. Do the history, study, you'll get all the information about all the craziness that our parents had to go through. Again, I know there are other nations and ethnicities, races who went through a lot. I'm not dismissing, minimizing what they went through at all, because this is not about them. This is about our people, our Haitian people. So it makes sense why they always use spirituality, guys, to combat everything, even depression, because spirituality, Christianity was all they had to hold on to for hope, for a better life. But anyway, yeah, I've experienced it, not to that severity, but we have other friends and families. It seemed like they all went to the same school because we all experienced the same thing. And it's good that we can sit back and, as adults, to find it humorous and not, what's the word I'm trying to find? And not just find sadness in it, because they went through a lot. All we can do is to try to understand our parents as adults. I'm in my 30s now, and the things, honestly, that used to irk me as a teenager, I'm looking back and there are a lot of things that I'm grateful for. I truly am. I can find joy, I can find laughter and the experience, but I'm not gonna lie, there are experiences that other kids like myself have gone through that are very traumatic. It can be very traumatic. Granted, even though you grew up in a Christian family, that doesn't mean that you can't experience trauma whatsoever. Oh my God, trauma lives in the Haitian house, okay? Because of the fact that we tend to spiritualize things such as mental illness and depression and just the day-to-day things that we go through as teenagers being in the United States that our parents, honestly, are never going to understand. And we just have to make peace with that and still love them where they're at. So I say this to say is that as an adult myself, I'm just loving them where they're at. They had to deal with a lot, y'all, and they can only give us what they have, what they know, and just love them where they're at. And of course, we can try to educate them in terms of getting help themselves, because God knows they went through a lot of trauma and a lot of things they're not talking about. They're not. There are things that I'm now actually learning about my family tree that was never talked about in our childhood. And there are a lot of things too that I still want to know that I'm treading lightly. We have to meet them where they're at because it can be very traumatic to relive these things, the stories to tell us their past and what they had to go through to leave Haiti, to migrate to a different island or a different country. We just have to meet them where they're at. And when I do have a certain question that I ask, I always state in the beginning that you can think about it, mom or dad, before answering it, but this is what I'd like to know, such and such I'd like to know. So I'd give you those pointers, not a pointer, but like that advice. If there's things that you would like to know in your family tree too, like there's a way that you can go about asking them. Granted, there are parents who are not as, what's the word I'm looking for? More Americanized. There are those that are more Americanized than others that understand that. But for those that are not as Americanized, it can be very hard to converse, have conversations that are uncomfortable with them, because you want to know like where you're from and your family tree and what happened, and certain things we'll never understand, we'll never know, and you just have to make peace with that. But for the important things that matter, like your family history, you'd like to know, like for health-wise and just to better understand yourself in general as a human being, I would say go ahead and ask. And as far as the feelings not being validated, go to therapy for that, y'all. Because certain things will not be changed. They're set in their own ways already. You just have to accept them for who they are, love them for where they're at, and learn from that and be better. And be better. Stop making excuses that this is why you're like this, because you didn't have this or you didn't have that. And the skit, I stated that, yeah, I'm depressed, but my mom in the background is saying that I have food, they gave me food, I have a roof over my head, I go to school. Those are the things they understand as love, because that's all they know. If you're eating, you have a roof over your head, you're clothed, and you're good health, there's no way you should be depressed. In their eyes, in their mind, they're like, it doesn't click, it doesn't make sense. Because those are the basic necessities that guys didn't even have growing up as well. So it makes sense to say those things like, hey, like you have those. Like growing up in their own eyes, I didn't have that, or they weren't able to have a bus pick them up for school, even for myself, but that's a different video. But we have those things, and for them, they're like, what's the problem? What's up? So you get it? Anyway, keeping it short, just wanted to jump on here and converse with you all and get the algorithm going. Please like, share your experience. I'd love to hear it, because it seems like we all grew up in the same household with the same experiences, especially if you're Christian. And I'd love to hear it. Community, connect. And until next time, I will catch you all in another video. Bye for now.